The wind was cold in the small desert town of Moran, where old houses sat like forgotten stories. One of those houses belonged to a man named Tomas, who had passed away just a week ago. He was 79 years old. People remembered him as quiet and strange. He didn't talk much, didn't attend town meetings, and never invited anyone inside. Now the house was empty, and his daughter, a woman named Mira, stood outside its rusted gate, holding a small bag and a legal letter. Mira had not spoken to her father in over 10 years. Their bond broke when her mother died. Tomas had changed after that. He became secretive and refused to leave the house. Mira moved to the city, built a new life, and only heard about her father's death from a neighbor. There was no will, no instructions, no message. Just a key found under a rock near the door, and her name listed as the only family. The gate creaked open. The house looked even older from the inside. Dust covered the windows, and the wooden floor made soft cracking sounds under her boots. She walked through the hallway slowly, expecting old furniture and photos. But what she found was something else. There were no family pictures, no dining table, no bed. The entire inside had been cleared out, except one room. A metal door at the end of the hallway stood shut with a keypad. It looked completely out of place, as if it belonged in a spaceship, not an old man's home. Mira frowned. Her father was never rich. He worked at a machine repair shop. He never talked about science or technology. Why was there a high-security door in a broken house? She tapped the keypad. It was still active. A screen blinked red and said, "Access denied, DNA mismatch, DNA." Mira stared at it in confusion. Who was her father really? She left the house for the night and returned the next morning with a local lawyer named Rafik and a technician. They tried to open the door using regular tools, but it didn't even scratch. The metal was unknown, and the locking system too advanced. Rafik looked nervous. This isn't government tech. And it's definitely not local. Your father was hiding something very big. Later that night, Mira found a note inside a crack in the wall near the kitchen. The note was old, handwritten in her father's style. "If you're reading this, I'm gone. I never told you the truth, and I regret that more than anything. But I did what I had to protect you. The door will open for you. Your blood is the key. Once you enter, everything will change." Her hands trembled. The next morning, she returned alone. She pricked her finger with a pin and touched the DNA scanner on the keypad. The screen blinked once, then again. Then turned green. Access granted. The door hissed open. Behind it was not a room, but a chamber glowing with light, humming with energy. Strange machines floated without wires. A silver pod stood in the center, surrounded by screens showing galaxies, star maps, and alien symbols. Mira stepped inside, and the door closed behind her. Everything she knew about her father was a lie. Mira stood frozen in the glowing chamber. The door had closed behind her, but she was not afraid. She felt something strange, like the air was watching her. The machines floated silently. The silver pot in the center opened with a soft hiss. Inside it was a chair, shaped to fit a human body. Wires and lights surrounded it, but there were no buttons. Mira stepped closer. Her fingers brushed the edge of the pod, and suddenly the lights brightened. A hologram appeared in the air above the chair. It was her father. Tomas looked younger in the image, maybe in his 40s. He was wearing a dark suit she had never seen before. The hologram spoke in a calm voice. "Mira, if you're seeing this, it means you've opened the chamber. I wish I had more time to tell you everything. But now it's your turn to know the truth." Mira stared at the image, her heart pounding. "I was not just a mechanic. That was only a cover. I worked with something called Project Arcus, a secret mission that involved alien contact. We discovered something powerful buried under Earth's surface, something ancient. Not a weapon, but a gift. A machine left behind by a race not from this galaxy. They called it the Seed. The screen changed. It showed a black sphere floating in space, surrounded by blue light. It looked alive. The Seed was more than just a machine. It could learn, it could build, and most of all, it could heal. Earth was not its first home, but we made it its last. The screen flashed again. Now it showed Tomas working in a lab with other people, soldiers, scientists, men in black suits. But greed took over. The government wanted to control it. Use it. They fought over who owned the Seed, so I stole it. Mira gasped that her father had stolen alien technology. I didn't do it for power. I did it for protection. I knew they would destroy it. Or destroy themselves. So I brought it here, to this house, and locked it away. You, Mira, you are the only one I trust now. The screen turned black. Silence. Mira looked around the chamber. In the back, another small door slid open. Inside was a glowing orb, floating above a platform. It was warm and pulsing softly, like a heartbeat. She stepped toward it. The orb lit up more as she approached. A soft voice, not her father's, echoed in her mind. You are the chosen one. She stopped. Who said that? She whispered, turning around. But no one was there. I am the Seed, the voice replied. I have waited many years. Her eyes widened. You're alive? Not like you, but I think. I learn. And I remember Tomas. He protected me. Now you must decide, will you protect me too? Mira stood still. Her mind was full of questions. Why her? What was she supposed to do now? She looked at the glowing orb and took a deep breath. My father trusted me. I won't let him down. The orb floated toward her slowly, then touched her chest. A spark passed between them, and suddenly Mira could see more visions of distant planets, of war and peace, of ancient beings who had created the Seed long ago. She saw humans in the future working beside aliens, building a better world, fighting for freedom. And she saw danger too. A dark force moving across the stars. A power that wanted to take the Seed for itself. She fell to her knees, breathing hard. The vision stopped. They are coming, the Seed said. We must prepare. Myra nodded. She didn't know how she would fight something from another world. But one thing was clear. This was no longer about inheritance. This was about protecting Earth. And she was now its first line of defense. Mira sat on the cold metal floor of the secret chamber. Her hands were still shaking. The glowing orb, the Seed, floated silently beside her, pulsing with a soft blue light. It had shown her visions of a future that didn't feel possible. But the voice in her mind was clear. They are coming. She didn't know who they were, but she knew one thing now. Her father had risked everything to protect something powerful. And now it was in her hands. The next day, Mira returned to the chamber with a notebook. She had written down every detail she could remember from the vision symbols, star patterns, even some strange alien words that still echoed in her mind. Seed hovered near the ceiling and began glowing brighter. We must activate the beacon, it said. The others will hear. Mira frowned. Others? Who are they? Friends of Tomas, hidden, waiting, watching from far. Without warning, the Seed floated to one of the machines near the wall. Lights blinked to life. The machine looked like a tall antenna, curved and smooth, not built by human hands. Mira stepped back as the machine began to hum. A beam of soft light shot into the ceiling, then threw it upward, toward the sky, hundreds of kilometers above. A satellite blinked. In a government facility deep underground. Alarms started ringing. A technician shouted, "Sir, there's a signal coming from Sector 14. It's coded, but not ours." The man in the black suit leaned forward. His face was calm, but his eyes were sharp. "Trace it. And send a team." Back in Moran, Mira had no idea she had just triggered a chain of events far bigger than she could imagine. She returned to the surface that evening, and stood outside her father's old house. The stars were clear above. She stared at them, wondering if someone or something was already looking back. Suddenly, she heard a noise behind her. She turned quickly. A man stood near the broken fence. He was old, maybe the same age her father had been. But he stood tall, his eyes calm, like he had been waiting for her. "I knew you would come," he said softly. Mira stepped back. "Who are you?" "My name is Joel. I was your father's friend." "Long ago." Mira narrowed her eyes. "Then why didn't you come when he died?" "I couldn't. Not until the beacon was lit." She looked at him closely. He didn't look like a normal old man. There was something different about the way he moved. And his clothes, though simple, were too clean, too perfect. "You're not from here, are you?" she asked. He smiled. "Not exactly." He reached into his coat and pulled out a small device. It glowed with the same light as the seed. "I came to help," he said, "because now others will come too. Some to protect, others to take." Mira felt the weight of the seed in her chest again. She nodded slowly. "What do we do first?" she asked. Joel looked up at the sky. "We prepare." That night, Joel told her everything. About the seed's origin. About a race of builders who had vanished long ago. And about the harvesters, a dark force that moved from world to world, destroying everything in their path to collect technology. "They don't build," he said. "They take. And once they learn the seed is active, they will come for it." Mira listened without speaking. "Your father believed humans could protect it," Joel said. "He believed in you." The next morning, Mira and Joel returned to the chamber. The seed greeted Joel like an old friend. "Guardian Joel, time is short." Mira looked at both of them. "Then let's get started." As the machines inside the chamber powered up, a message shot into space. A warning. A call. And far beyond Earth, something in the darkness heard it. 3 days had passed since Mira activated the seed's beacon. In that short time, her world had completely changed. She no longer spent her nights in the city. She now lived inside her father's strange, secret house, learning from Joel, talking with the seed, and studying the ancient machines hidden in the chamber. Every day, Mira grew stronger. She didn't know how, but the seed was changing her. Her eyes became sharper, her hands steadier. She could understand symbols that had once looked like scribbles. But change was not happening only inside her. Something had arrived. That evening, Joel stood on the rooftop, staring into the sky with a small metal scope. Mira climbed up beside him. "What do you see?" she asked. He pointed to a group of stars. "That one. It's moving. Too fast for a normal satellite." Mira squinted. It looked like a tiny flicker, but it blinked with rhythm like a code. Joel nodded. "They're here." "Friends or enemies?" she asked. "Not sure yet," he replied. "But we should be ready for both." That night, Mira couldn't sleep. Her thoughts were heavy with questions. Why her? Why had her father trusted her with this massive responsibility? She had lived an ordinary life, no training, no experience. Just an old man's daughter. And now, she might be Earth's last hope? Suddenly, the seed lit up inside the chamber. Mira rushed in. "A ship is landing nearby," the seed said. "Unknown signature. No signal of threat, yet." Mira grabbed her coat. "We should go." Joel was already at the gate. Together, they walked silently across the dry fields behind the house. The night air was still, and the only sound was the crunch of their steps on dry grass. Then they saw it. A dark shape stood in the middle of the field. It had no lights, no windows. It was silent and tall, like a tower that had fallen from the sky. The surface shimmered, reflecting the stars. Mira's heart pounded. Joel raised a small device. It scanned the object and blinked green. Atmosphere sealed, life inside, but not hostile. A door on the side of the ship opened slowly. 2 figures stepped out. They looked human, but Mira could tell they were not. Their skin was smooth, too perfect. Their eyes were silver. They wore long gray coats that moved without wind. One of them stepped forward. "I am Loro," he said in a soft voice. "This is Rena. We followed the seed's call. We mean no harm." Joel lowered his device. "You came from the outer rim?" Loro nodded. "We are the keepers, protectors of ancient gifts, like the seed." Mira stepped forward. "Why now?" Rena spoke. Her voice was calm but serious. "Because others have heard the signal too. The harvesters are not far. You must prepare Earth for what is coming." Mira looked at them both. "Then help us." The keepers nodded. Back inside the house, Mira introduced them to the seed. It recognized them. "Welcome, keepers. The guardian has returned. The heir is chosen. The time is near." Joel, Mira, and the two keepers spent the next 2 days working nonstop. They activated machines hidden beneath the ground devices built by Thomas and the seed long ago. They built a shield system, one that could hide the seed's location. They set up scanning towers across the hills. And deep below, in the chamber, a new door opened, one that even Joel had never seen before. Inside was a table filled with devices. Tools, armor, weapons made for humans. Built with the seed's design. "These were made for you," the seed told Mira, "for the one with human spirit and ancient blood." Mira reached out and touched a small circular badge. It lit up at her touch and wrapped around her wrist, forming a glowing band. She didn't know what she had become, but she knew what she had to do. They were no longer just hiding. They were getting ready, and somewhere far in the dark, the harvesters had begun their journey to Earth. A red sun was rising behind the mountains when Mira stepped out of the house. The wind was dry, and the sky was clear. But something in the air had changed. She could feel it. The seed had told her. The harvesters were close. And time was running out. Joel and the keepers, Loro and Rena, had worked through the night. Inside the underground chamber, the machines were now awake. The seed had given power to weapons that no human had ever seen. It had shared knowledge from other worlds, how to shield the mind from mental attacks, how to bend energy into light, how to move silently without leaving a trace. Mira learned quickly. Too quickly. The seed said it was because her blood carried something old, a hidden spark that humans rarely used. Her father had known this. He believed that humans were not weak or simple. They were different and special in a way even other species didn't fully understand. That morning, Joel showed her a map. It wasn't made of paper. It floated above a stone table and moved like water. "This," he said, pointing to a red dot, "is where the Harvester scout ship entered orbit." Mira leaned in. "How long do we have?" 2 days. "Maybe less," said Joel. Loro stepped forward. "It's not a full invasion yet. Just scouts. But if they find the seed, more will come." Mira nodded. "Then we can't let them find it." Rena looked at her. "We can fight. But Earth is not ready for war. If we win this small battle, it may give us time to prepare for the larger one." They made a plan. Joel would lead the defense near the hills. The keepers would hide the chamber with a cloaking field powered by the seed. Myra would confront the scout ship alone. "No," Joel said quickly. "You're not ready for that." "I have to be," Mira replied. "They're not expecting a human to face them. That's our advantage." Loro handed her a silver glove. It looked light, but when Mira slipped it on, it covered her whole arm with smooth armor. She touched her other wrist, and the band glowed, forming a thin shield around her body. "Don't try to win," Rena told her. "Just delay them, make them unsure. That's enough." By nightfall, the sky changed. A black shape broke through the stars. It moved slowly, without sound, like a predator looking for its prey. It came down over the hills and stopped above a rocky field. The scout ship had arrived. Mira stood waiting in that field, her heart calm. The wind brushed her hair. The seed's voice whispered in her ear, "You are not alone." The ship opened. 3 tall beings stepped out. They were not like any species she had seen in the seed's memory. Their bodies were long, thin, covered in metal and bone. Their faces were hidden behind smooth, dark masks. They did not speak. One of them raised a hand. A weapon unfolded like a black claw. Mira took a step forward and raised her arm. The glove shimmered, and her shield appeared in front of her like glass. The weapon fired, a sharp bolt of red energy, but the shield held. She didn't move back. She spoke clearly, her voice steady. "This world is protected. Leave now." The creatures tilted their heads. One of them stepped closer. It opened a small device and scanned her. Then it froze. "She carries the echo," it said in a deep, strange voice. "The seed has chosen." One of the others growled. "Then she must be removed." Mira moved fast. The seed had taught her how to shift her energy. Her speed surprised even the scouts. She dodged another blast and sent a shockwave from her glove into the nearest one, knocking it back. She didn't fight to destroy them. She fought to show them one thing: humans were not afraid. The ground shook, and light burst from the hidden hills. The cloaking shield activated. The seed's energy covered the whole area, hiding it from the enemy's sensors. The creatures paused. "This world is not simple," one said. "She is connected," said another. They looked at Mira one last time. Then they returned to their ship as it lifted into the sky. Mira stood still, breathing hard. Her arm ached and her shield faded. But she did not fall. She had done it. She had faced the unknown and won time for Earth. The scout ship disappeared into the clouds, leaving behind silence and dust. Mira stood in the empty field, breathing slowly. Her energy drained but her mind sharp. She had done what no one expected, stood against the unknown and survived. Back at the chamber, Joel and the keepers waited. When Mira returned, her steps were slow, but her eyes were steady. "They're gone," she said. Joel nodded, proud but concerned. "That was just a warning. The real storm is still ahead." Rena stepped forward. "The scouts will report back. The harvesters will now know this world is protected. But they will not stop. They may even come faster now." Mira sat near the seed. It glowed softly, like it was resting after using great power. She spoke gently. "What happens next?" "They will come in numbers," the seed said. "But not yet. There is still time. Time to prepare Earth for the truth." Mira looked up. "The people, they don't know anything. If they saw that ship today, they would panic," Joel agreed. "Most governments still hide alien knowledge. But this can't stay hidden much longer," the seed pulsed. "Then tell them. Let Earth choose." A strange silence followed. Everyone looked at Mira. She was the heir now. The voice people would listen to. That night, Mira made a decision. She would speak. The next morning, the world changed. In front of her father's house, Mira stood before a small camera Joel had set up. Rena helped her link it to open networks. The seed added encryption, making sure no signal could block the message. Mira took a deep breath and began. "My name is Mira. My father passed away a few weeks ago. But he left behind something I never expected. A secret, a mission, and a gift." Her voice was calm, honest, and clear. She explained the truth, but not everything. She told the people about an ancient machine buried on Earth, about beings from other worlds, about the danger now moving toward them. She told them humans were not alone anymore. "We have something powerful," she said, "and they will come for it. But we're not helpless. We can fight. We can defend what is ours." She didn't ask people to believe her. She just asked them to prepare. When the message ended, it spread fast. Some thought it was fake. Others believed every word. News channels played it again and again. Scientists demanded answers. Military leaders started secret meetings. And people around the world, ordinary people, began to wonder if Mira was telling the truth. But something happened that no one expected. A second message came. Not from Earth. It came from space. It appeared in the sky like a soft wave of light, visible to satellites and even the naked eye. It said only one line. The seed must not remain on Earth. It belongs to the stars. Surrender it or face destruction. Joel stood still when he read the translation. It's them, he said. The harvesters. Mira clenched her fists. They think we'll just give it up. Rena looked at the glowing sky. They believe fear will control us. They always start this way, with a threat. The seed pulsed, stronger than before. Do not be afraid. Earth is special. Humanity has what others do not: heart, memory, and the will to change. That is why I chose you. Mira looked around the chamber. The machines were ready. Her armor was stronger now. She could feel the seed's energy inside her. Not as a weapon, but as a part of her. This world, she whispered, is not alone anymore. In the skies above, more ships had started to move. The countdown had begun. But this time, Earth would not wait. This time, humans would stand together. The world was changing fast. After Mira's message, people no longer ignored the truth about the stars. Governments began to reveal secrets. Scientists confirmed strange signals. And in quiet places, groups formed, people ready to protect Earth. Mira felt the weight of all this on her shoulders. She wasn't just her father's daughter anymore. She was the face of hope, and the symbol of Earth's defense. Joel stood beside her, watching the horizon. They will come soon, he said. We need to be ready. Mira nodded. We have the seed, the keepers, and a new shield. But will it be enough? Joel smiled sadly. Sometimes humans surprise even the stars. The keepers helped build defenses across the planet. Hidden bases, powerful sensors, and energy fields covered cities and forests. The seed's power grew stronger. It connected to human technology in ways no one thought possible, and Mira trained harder every day. The glowing band around her wrist was more than just armor. It was a link to the seed and, through it, to her father's knowledge. One night, while Mira rested in the chamber, the seed showed her a vision. Far beyond the stars, a dark fleet moved like a shadow. The harvesters, cold, ruthless, and vast. They had no mercy. They wanted the seed's power to control all life. Mira clenched her fists. She could feel her heart beating fast. Suddenly, the chamber doors opened. Joel entered with a group of new faces, humans and keepers, mixed together. Scientists, soldiers, and leaders who had chosen to join the fight. One man stepped forward. He was tall and strong with kind eyes. I am Malik, he said. We are ready to stand with you, Mira. She smiled, grateful. Then let's prepare. Days passed like a storm. Training, planning, and building. Mira learned to control the seeds. Power more. She could create light shields that bent around her like water. She could sense danger before it came. Her connection to the seed grew deeper every hour. One evening, as the sun set over the hills, Mira stood on a hilltop with Joel and Malik. In the sky, a new ship appeared, larger than the scout ship. It glowed with dark energy and moved with purpose. Joel narrowed his eyes. That's the harvester's main fleet. Mira took a deep breath. Her band glowed brighter. This is our moment. The ship moved closer. The world below held its breath. Then, without warning, the sky exploded. With light. Earth was ready.